welcome to ABC Interactive English. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike.
And hi, I'm Rainbow.
And Rainbow and I, we are both famous landmarks.
We're famous. We stand here all day.
There's the Statue of Liberty, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and us. No, we're not famous landmarks. We're people. People cannot be landmarks, but famous big things. Most of them are big.
They're very big.
Not all, but many of them are big.
Mostly.
These are famous places around the world. So if you go to some of these famous landmarks, you will take pictures of them. You might buy a postcard. And even if you haven't been there, you might recognize it because these are famous landmarks or famous things and places around the world.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
for example, everybody knows Taipei 101.
Taipei 101 is one of our most famous landmarks. Maybe the Queen's Head out in Yaleo, right? That's another famous landmark. It might not be a landmark forever, though. I hear it's going to fall.
Soon.
She might lose her head.
Oh, gosh.
But we will be talking about some secrets of famous landmarks. Now, Taipei 101, that's an interesting one. I can think of a kind of a secret about that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it about how much is underneath?
Ooh, no, that sounds like a good secret. Tell me.
So Taipei 101's like this tall, right?
It's 550 meters.
Foundation's like 3 times as deep.
I remember when they were building it, they were going down for like a year.
Yeah.
And when they started to go up, it went up really fast.
Yeah.
So that's probably what you're talking about. I'm also thinking about that big ball that they have right up at the top, right? And when the wind blows or there's an earthquake, it kind of swings. I think a lot of people, they might not know about that unless they go there or see it on the news. So we're going to be talking about some other famous landmarks like Taipei 101 and some secrets, some information you guys might not know about these very famous places. So let's get to it. The world has many famous landmarks. People visit them for their beauty, history, and secrets. One of them is the Eiffel Tower in Paris. The tower was named after engineer Gustave Eiffel. He didn't design it, though. Also, the tower almost wasn't built. People thought it was ugly and protested the project. So yes, that is the title of our article, Secrets of Famous Landmarks, Part 1. I guess since we're going to be talking about secrets for 2 days, we should explain what a secret is. We don't want to keep it secret what secret means. Can you explain it? Oh, you're not going to explain it, okay.
A secret is something that you don't want anybody to know or very few people know. Maybe they don't know because you haven't told anybody. Maybe it's just something that's not very popular. Maybe it's a fact that nobody really knows. Anyway, if you want to keep a secret, you better keep your mouth shut and don't share it with anybody else. So we're going to be talking about secrets that we maybe don't know about these famous landmarks. Let's get started. The world has many famous landmarks. People visit them for their beauty, history, and secrets. One of them is the Eiffel Tower in Paris.
Ooh, that is probably one of the most famous landmarks, right? I think most people, if they see a picture of the Eiffel Tower, they will be able to tell you it's in Paris, it's in France, it's very tall, and sometimes James Bond jumps off the top of it. All right, let's move on in our article and see what it says. Yeah, we're talking about the Eiffel Tower. This is actually a word that many landmarks have in their name because towers are really, really tall buildings. That's basically what it is. It was originally made as sort of a part of a war-fighting building. A castle would have towers. Towers might be round, made of stone, and have places for soldiers to shoot arrows out of as enemy armies tried to take over. But now, we often use this just, as another word for skyscraper or very tall building of some kind. In America, in Chicago. They had the Sears Tower. I believe it goes by another name. In Canada, we have the CN Tower there in Toronto. And of course, you could maybe describe Taipei 101 as a tower too.
You could.
But the Eiffel Tower is another very good example. A tall, freestanding structure that is basically made to climb to the top of and have a wonderful view. So let's find out some basic facts about the Eiffel Tower. It says the tower was named after engineer Gustav Eiffel. That's right, that's the person who designed it and built it. It's also a good name to remember because there's a connection to another landmark coming up. Remember Gustav Eiffel. It says he didn't design it though, so he wasn't the original designer. We also might say he wasn't the original architect, which is a person who designs buildings. It says also the tower almost wasn't built. Yes, it's very, very true. This is back in the late 1880s in Paris. They had a big World's Fair inviting people from around the world, and they thought, let's build something really nice. But some people were like, no, Paris is so beautiful. We don't want this big iron tower. People thought it was ugly and protested the project. Hard to believe today that one of the most beautiful and famous landmarks in the world was actually quite unpopular a long time ago. And I don't know if anyone now would describe the Eiffel Tower as being ugly.
Oh, I think just the opposite.
Yeah.
Ugly is a terrible word to describe something that is not beautiful at all. It's gross to look at. You see it and you don't want it there. Maybe it doesn't match the surroundings, or maybe the outfit is ugly and the colors just don't go together. This is not a good way to describe a person. That would be very mean, but this is the opposite of the word beautiful. So when we thought that the building was ugly, maybe we just thought it doesn't fit Paris at all. I remember feeling the same way about Taipei 101 actually.
Oh, really?
I didn't think it was beautiful. So yeah, it was thought to be ugly, so people protested it a lot.
Exactly. Not beautiful, not pretty. And more polite word might be unattractive, right? I just don't like how it looks. And so people protested the building of this new tower back then. To protest is basically to raise your hand, to raise your voice, to stand up alone or with others and say, no, I disagree. I don't like this plan, this project, this new law. Often people will protest political changes, right? They don't like the new president. They don't like the new rules or something like that. Or maybe if you're just a kid on a school night and your parents say, time for bed, you'll say, no, I don't want to go to bed. I want to play video games or something like that. You are protesting. We can also use it as a noun. So if a bunch of people gather together to protest, we would call that a protest, okay? So they are against something, maybe a new law from the government, for example. All right, let's take a break and then we'll be back with another famous landmark. And remember that name we saw before? Keep that in your mind. Another landmark is the Statue of Liberty. It was a gift from France and stands for freedom and hope. It's in New York Harbor. However, its first home was at the entrance to the Suez Canal in Egypt.
So in the first part, we talked about how nobody actually wanted the Eiffel Tower to be built because they thought it was so ugly and it almost wasn't built. But then, you know, now it's built and we all love it.
Absolutely, and we saw that name Gustav Eiffel. Remember, he didn't design the Eiffel Tower, but he built a lot of it. He had a big metal building company, so they actually built the structure. And then we get back to the article and get back to another very famous landmark. Another landmark is the Statue of Liberty. Yes, of course, standing right there in New York Harbor. You might have seen it live and in person, or of course in many movies and other things like like that. So the Statue of Liberty, that lady standing there with her torch and her tablet, it was a gift from France and stands for freedom and hope. Yes, absolutely. France built it and sent it over to America as a symbol of freedom and hope. It's in New York Harbor, as we mentioned. And here's another thing. Gustav Eiffel's company also built the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, that's
they
amazing.
were so good at building large things out of iron. That's kind of what they did. But here's an interesting secret, an amazing fact about the Statue of Liberty. Please tell us.
However, its first home was at the entrance to the Suez Canal in Egypt.
Suez Canal in Egypt. Isn't that amazing? I did not know that. It's quite incredible to think that that was where it was going to be, and then it ended up in New York. And of course, if you go to Paris, you can see a little Statue of Liberty right by the River Seine in the middle of Paris, very close to the Eiffel Tower. So she shows up, this Statue of Liberty, she shows up in many places. Let's talk about this word entrance.
The entrance. This is where you go in. So if you go to a movie theater, you would see entry and exit. Entrance and exit. Yeah. So the place where you go in is the entrance. The place where you go out is the exit. Of course, you might see this also at the airport or any landmark, anywhere that's famous. You'll see a sign that says entrance, and that's a noun.
There you go, entrance. In Britain, they might call it the way in.
Oh.
The sign might say way in and way out. Exactly, but in North America and other places, entrance goes in, exit goes out. And of course, you guys might know the verb to enter, right? Enter. To go in, to enter through the entrance. All right, well, that is the exit of our article. Okay. We have to leave you guys for now. But before we get to tomorrow's amazing landmarks that we'll be learning all about. Have you actually been to either of these landmarks that we've talked about today?
Both.
Both of them. And which one do you feel was most impressive, was most incredible as an experience?
Paris.
Really? The Eiffel Tower?
I think that's just because it's in Paris, though.
Okay.
And to me, Paris is more incredible and different.
It's one of your most favorite cities in the world.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
I think also with the Eiffel Tower, it's much easier to get up close to it, right? You can stand right underneath it. Climbing it or going to it is much easier. Of course, the Statue of Liberty is amazing, but I think a lot of people see it from far away.
You can take this boat up really close.
You can, but
very windy.
Yes, and you can get tickets to actually go and visit, maybe even go inside. But I think a lot of people see it from, from Manhattan and other places. Still very impressive, especially as the sun is rising or the sun is setting.
Beautiful. Absolutely
spectacular. And we were going to have some more spectacular landmarks for you guys tomorrow, so please do join us for that. Until then, all the best and bye-bye. The world has many famous landmarks. People visit them for their beauty, history, and secrets. One of them is the Eiffel Tower in Paris. The tower was named after engineer Gustav Eiffel. He didn't design it, though. Also, the tower almost wasn't built. People thought it was ugly and protested the project. Another landmark is the Statue of Liberty. It was a gift from France and stands for freedom and hope. It's in New York Harbor. However, its first home was at the entrance to the Suez Canal in Egypt.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 secret 名词，奥秘、秘密。Maya told me a secret about her past. Maya 告诉了我一个她过去的秘密。下一个单字 tower 名词，塔楼。The tower was built hundreds of years ago. 这座塔楼是数百年前建造的。下一个单字 ugly 形容词，丑陋的。The dress was so ugly that no one wanted to buy it. 这件洋装太丑了，没有人想买它。最后一个单字 entrance 名词，入口。The entrance to the park is decorated with flowers. 公园的入口装饰着鲜花。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 A is named after B. A 以 B 的名字来命名。Name 在这里是动词，意思是为什么命名、取名。我们来看看这个例句。The bridge was named after a local hero. 这座桥以一位当地英雄的名字来命名。下一个文法 Something is built. 某物被建造。这里是被动语态的用法，它的结构是 be 动词加上过去分词 pp。Built 是 build 的过去分词。我们来看看这个例句。A new library was built in the city center. 市中心盖了一间新的图书馆。最后一个文法 stand for 象征代表。Stand 的动词三态是 stand, stood, stood。我们来看看这个例句。The dove stands for peace. 鸽子象征着和平。Dove 指的就是鸽子。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，回去记得复习哦。我们下一次再见，拜拜。
And done.
Shane, how do you solve these complicated problems so quickly? It's like you have a superpower.
Oh, it's definitely not like a superpower. I've just been doing it for so long that it's become like second nature to me.
Second nature? What's your first nature then?
No. I just mean that I'm so familiar with these tasks and doing it that it becomes almost automatic.
I get it. So you have practiced so much that these tasks have become so easy for you.
Exactly. Just like when you first start driving a car, it's really difficult, but once you've been driving for years, it's totally become second nature.
That makes sense. So what you're saying is that if I practice enough, I will be able to solve these complicated problems too.
It's exactly what I'm saying. Like take a look at this one, right? It looks like It's really complicated.
Welcome back. Today, we're going to explore the expression second nature.
That's correct. Second nature refers to something you can do easily or without much thought because you've done it so many times before.
It's a skill or behavior that is so ingrained that it seems natural, like a part of your character.
For example, if someone has been playing piano since childhood, we might say, playing piano is second nature to her.
Or if you're accustomed to waking up early every morning, you could say, waking up early is second nature to me.
That's right, but remember, not all second nature habits are good. For instance, you could say, procrastination has become second nature to him.
So the key is to practice good habits until they become second nature to you.
Exactly. It's the same with English. Keep practicing, and speaking English might become second nature to you.
That's all for today.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.